If COVID-19 were to end today, how long would it take to get your company back to business as usual? This was a PwC CFO Pulse survey. It was just taken. On March 11th, CFOs said, 66%. We can get back in less than a month. Now it's 22%. How about it's going to take a year? Nobody back in March thought a year. Now it's 5% and rising. Michigan Freedom Fund's going to have a protest here. Well, at least they're part of a group that's going to protest the state capitol tomorrow. They want Michigan business to reopen, at least in a safe manner as we go through COVID-19. Tony Daunt's the head of the Michigan Freedom Fund. He's with me now. Morning, Tony.
Good morning, Dave. Thank you for having me, sir.
Appreciate you being here. Well, when you hear business get less sure about how quick things will bounce back, it means that every day we're closed is going to make it probably that much harder. Yet we don't want things to reopen if it's not safe to do so. So where's the balancing act, and why do you think we've passed that point?
Well, that's a great question, and I think it is a balancing act, and this takes a nuanced approach. And at the very beginning of this crisis, I think the strong moves to shut everything down and get an idea of where we were made sense, and we were very clear about that. That we were supportive of those actions and understood that the governor had to make some tough choices, and provided that that respect and deference to leaders making those decisions. Unfortunately, as you saw on Thursday with her last order, she basically took the good news of what has been happening with that flattening of the curve and people following those orders and said, okay, great, now I'm going to make it even more painful for everybody for really no reason. And that is what has caused consternation and anger.
Let me ask you, let me stop for just a second, Tony. When you say she took it further and for literally no reason, then why did she do it? I mean, you've got to have, if you think this is a problem, you got to have it's like going to court. What's the motive? What's the motivation here to cause more economic pain if it isn't to try to save lives? I'm asking honestly. Why do you think that's not accurate?
I think that what we've got is in Governor Whitmer at this point is somebody who is incapable of thinking at things from a more nuanced approach. And she's got the heavy hand of government at her disposal, and that's an easy, blunt tool to utilize, and she's going to utilize it, and is unwilling to listen to the countless citizens of Michigan, small business owners, legislative leaders who have been pleading with her, please, let's stop looking at this as essential versus non-essential, and let's look at it as safe versus unsafe. And there are any number of things that people can do that would be safe. And I use it because it's one everybody's used, but the issue of the guys who are they have long landscaping businesses and they go out in the lawns, they do things like that. The vast majority of them are one-man shops, and they've got a truck and a trailer and a lawnmower and some tools. And they go out, they're working by themselves, they're outdoors, they're making money. It's not a lot, but it's enough to have some economic activity. There are tons of people who do things like that. And she's just said, nope, we can't have that. She's put the clamp down on traveling from residences, from one home to the other that you may own. She said you can go on a kayak, but not on a boat that has a motor. It's absurd, and there's no rhyme or reason. And I think that's when people start to feel as though they're being treated as subjects and not citizens. And that's when they start to.
So you've got this. All right. So you've got this protest that's happening. You can't link hands and hug the Capitol building because that would be non-social distancing there, right? But you're going to have people. I remember when they did that at Tiger Stadium back. They had a group hug for the stadium, but you can't do that. Not in the land of COVID, no. So you're going to get in cars, and you're going to try to ring the Capitol, down Allegan and Capitol, and try to circle the Capitol building in Lansing and block traffic then, right? Whatever traffic there is.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's the last time I was downtown, there was no traffic. You could swing a cat down and not hit anybody. And let me just clarify for the record the statements the governor made yesterday about Betsy DeVos and her funding of the Michigan Conservative Coalition and us at the Freedom Fund paying for this rally are categorically false. Michigan Conservative Coalition is a grassroots organization that started this rally, that put it on Facebook, that organized it, that were promoting it, and we simply saw it and we said, "Oh, this looks interesting. Let's contact them, see if we can promote it, if they wouldn't mind." And we did that.
But they still listed your group as a host too. I screenshotted it. It said you were both hosts.
Yep, and very, very easily, the reason for that is we wanted to put a couple $100, literally $250, behind a Facebook ad promoting it. And according to Facebook's rules, in order to do that, you have to be listed as a co-host.
But has DeVos funded Michigan Freedom Fund?
We have people who fund us across the state, whether it's people at $1 or 100 times that, or what have you. And we believe in their First Amendment protections, and we don't talk about that. And the simple fact of the matter is what she said yesterday was false. A borderline lie.
But I'm going to. I understand you don't have to reveal. I'm going to interpret that as a yes and say it's probably not far off the mark. And I'm not judging you here, Tony. You have a right to do this. By the way, you have a right to protest even under the EO. Protests can be done, right?
Absolutely. And what this protest is meant to do is
30 seconds.
Engage in your First Amendment rights and do it in a safe way that abides by social distancing.
In cars. When should people gather for this? We've got 20 seconds left. When should people gather?
Noon is when we expect everyone to be down there, so head on out earlier than that and stay in your cars and stay healthy.
Tony Daunt, Michigan Freedom Fund. Tony, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet.
Coming back on the Morning Wake Up, 1320. This is WILS.